go of me!
You'll never last here. The bully's voice echoed as his fist ripped through her blouse.
I said let go!
Laughter erupting across the classroom. But the laughter died instantly. The new black teacher, calm as stone, stepped forward, and with a single judo throw, she sent the bully crashing to the floor. Respect instant, undeniable, was earned in that moment. The classroom smelled faintly of chalk and freshly polished floors. Sunlight streamed across rows of desks where restless teenagers whispered and tapped pens. At the front stood Ms. Carter, the new teacher, her blouse crisp, her hand steady, though her heart raced. This was more than a job. It was her calling. She wanted to inspire, to lift, to prove that classrooms could change lives. But as she wrote her name on the board, she felt eyes watching her not with curiosity, but with challenge. In the last row lounged 3 boys, the kind whose confidence came not from intelligence but intimidation. They sprawled in their chairs, whispering and smirking, waiting for a chance to pounce. She won't last a week, one muttered under his breath. The others snickered. Already, they smelled weakness, or so they thought. It began small. A paper ball hurled at the chalkboard. A fake cough that turned into laughter. A mocking whistle whenever she turned her back. The other students shrank, desperate not to be noticed. Silence became complicity. The bullies ruled this space, and they wanted Miss Carter to know it, but she wasn't a stranger to hostile rooms. She had faced worse. Her father's voice echoed in her mind. He had been a soldier, a man who believed strength came from discipline, not cruelty. In their backyard, he had taught her judo, how to channel force, how to remain calm, how to use an opponent's arrogance against them. Respect, he had said, isn't demanded. It's commanded. And when someone tries to steal your dignity, you must stand. She inhaled, exhaled, and steadied her voice. By afternoon, the boys grew restless. One finally stood, sauntering toward the front of the room. His steps were loud on the tiles, a deliberate show of dominance. He stopped inches from her, towering over her, sneering, "Really think you're in charge here?" He said, his tone dripping with contempt, "You're nothing." Gasps rippled through the room. Every eye fixed on the confrontation. Then came the moment that shattered the silence. The boy's hand shot out, grabbing her blouse and tearing it open at the seam. The ripping fabric echoed like thunder. Laughter erupted from his friends, echoing through the classroom. The teacher froze for a moment, feeling the sting of humiliation burn across her skin. The boy dangled the torn fabric piece like a trophy. "What's the lesson now, teacher?" He jeered. The room fell into a cruel hush, waiting for her to break, but she didn't break. She straightened her posture, her torn blouse exposing vulnerability, but not weakness. Her eyes locked on his calm. "Unshakable. Lesson number 1, she said softly, her voice carrying to every corner of the room. Actions have consequences. Her words weren't shouted, but they cut sharper than any scream. The class leaned forward, sensing the shift. In a blur, her hand seized his wrist. A twist, a pivot, a sweep of her leg. Decades of training, executed in a single heartbeat. The bully's balance vanished. His body lifted, flipped, and slammed against the cold tiles with a sickening thud. The laughter died instantly. Desks rattled. Students gasped. The once cocky boy lay sprawled on the floor, groaning, clutching his ribs. His smirk had evaporated. All that remained was shock and silence. The other 2 bullies froze, their arrogance draining as quickly as the color from their faces. They had expected her to crumble. Instead, they had seen her strength. Ms. Carter didn't gloat. She didn't raise her voice. She simply adjusted her torn blouse with quiet dignity and looked at the class. Class, she said evenly, is now in session. Her words echoed like a commandment. The bullies lowered their eyes. Even the students uninvolved felt it, the shift in the air, the unspoken understanding that respect had been earned not by threats, but by unshakable strength. By day's end, whispers spread through the school. Students spoke in hushed awe about the new teacher who had floored a bully with a single move. The principal, braced for chaos, instead found order. Her classroom was silent, not from fear, but from newfound respect. Even the worst troublemakers now sat straighter, their bravado dimmed. Later, in the quiet of the empty classroom, Miss Carter traced a torn seam of her blouse. She hadn't wanted violence, but she understood. Sometimes to teach respect, you must first command it.